Well, guys, after 3 months, an insane amount of time and effort, it is now finally over. The Hell Hades challenge has ended, and I have finished in third place, which, you know what, I'm pretty darn proud of. So this video is just going to be kind of my thoughts, my final thoughts, I guess you would say, about what this experience was like, what I learned, basically everything I thought about what it would be like coming into it and what it ended up being like in reality. So first and foremost, people have asked, like, hey Drock, did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time? Did you like the free-to-play challenge? And the answer is absolutely. I had so much fun playing this account for the last 3 months, playing Raid free-to-play. And the other thing to keep in mind is I've never done this. I never played a free-to-play account for the entirety of my time playing Raid. I was pay to win, a dirty pay to win from the very moment I started. And so it was such a gratifying experience to do something completely different, to experience Raid in a whole new way. And it really made me fall in love with the game again, you know, not spending any money, but just seeing what I could accomplish, seeing what I could actually achieve with only epic champions. So you'll notice, obviously, I've got some legendaries here, but you know, the only legendaries I was able to use by the end of the competition was Arbiter, Armands, and Rathalos. And that was it. Those were the 3 Legos that I had, and I had to make do with epics for everything else. And it was just such an incredible experience. And it was hard and it was tricky, and there were so many great creators. So also a big shout out and a thank you to Hell Hades and to Saf for putting this on, because it's such a phenomenal opportunity to, first and foremost, meet new viewers, show off what you can do, learn more, but then also to meet other content creators that you can end up collabing with. So just an incredible experience. Going into this, I didn't think that I would have a chance to win. You know, I fully expected to get absolutely blown out of the water by people who have done free-to-play challenges before. And so to finish third is kind of like nuts. I definitely did not expect to do that well in this competition. And that's in spite of making so many mistakes early on, or just like things I didn't know about free to play and how to do it. And so that was really cool thing to see. And in terms of like the differences from what I've done on my normal account, my Kraken account, and this one, I think there are really 2 big takeaways that I have when it comes to playing Raid free to play. The first and foremost thing is unless you put in immense amount of effort and time, your account will never progress. That is one of the biggest differences between free to play and pay to win, is that you can make mistakes on pay to win that you cannot make on free to play, because you won't be able to come back. You won't be able to get that fusion. You can progress super fast on the pay to win side of things, whereas on free to play, you have to be methodical and put in all of your time and do every single quest. Like on my pay to win account, I don't even do these quests anymore. I stopped doing this a long time ago because I really don't care, and it's not worth the time investment for what you get. But on free to play, this is your lifeline. This is what you're doing every single day. And so I can see how it becomes almost like a job. And to be fair, I was playing Raid, no joke, until 3, 4, 5 a.m. I mean, hell, a couple nights I played till 6 a.m. trying to make sure I got fusions done or events done or whatever else. And part of that is because of the terrible time zone I'm in for Raid in the East Coast of America. But also part of that is because in a competition, you have to give it your all. So that was a really interesting observation, where if you're not putting in the time, it doesn't matter anything else, you're just not going to do well. And then I think the second big thing, and this is kind of obvious for these kind of games, but oh man, luck really matters on free to play. It is huge. It's not as important as the time you put in, right? Like the time you put in is more important up to a certain extent, and then what luck you get in getting champions really starts to come into play, because I had what is absolutely incredible luck for a normal free-to-play account. For a non-competition, this account would have been considered insanely lucky, because look at how many Legos I have. I pulled 9 Legos during this competition, in addition to the Armands that I fused and the Arbiter that I got. So a grand total of 12 Legos. You'll notice 2 are missing here because I fed them. I fed a Scartorsus and I fed a Nari the Lucky, and then I think I don't know, 7. I don't know the others. I thought I pulled 9. Maybe I pulled 7. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I pulled 8 Legos. Excuse me. I pulled 8 Legos. I thought it was 9. Oh well. Anyway, long story short, the point being that kind of luck is obviously hard to replicate. In 3 months to pull that many legendaries off of only a handful of shards without even having done Ultra Nightmare yet to get more shards. It was incredible luck for a normal free-to-play account. Obviously for the competition, it was actually really bad luck because we could not use legendary champions that we summoned. And so that really hurt my progression in terms of what I was able to achieve for sure. If I had had 1 or 2 other epics, like I think one of the big takeaways that I saw from this competition is there were a couple of really key epics that could absolutely change your account. The first being someone like Ugo, because Hydra ended up being a really large portion of the scoring system. So Ugo for Hydra would have been absolutely massive. You can see her there on a teammates or a clanmates team. Obviously Geomancer would have been big. But I did this competition with what I would say were no top 5 epics except for Deacon, who I pulled about maybe 2/3 of the way through the competition after I'd already gotten Duck, and I didn't feel like investing in him because I felt like Duck was good enough. But it just was such an incredible experience, and I feel like I learned so much. I feel like I have a much better appreciation for the amount of time that people put into this game when they're not playing free to play. I have a much better understanding of mechanics of certain fights, especially when it comes to using epics or things like that, because, and you guys know if you've watched me before, you know I am not a PvE guy. I am a PvP dude. That has been where I have enjoyed my raid experience so far. But what is interesting is that I have ended up, you know, really coming to enjoy PvE because of this experience, because of how difficult it can be to complete a dungeon. And I made it pretty freaking far in some of these dungeons. I mean, Armand's was really the key to unlocking a lot of this stuff, but I mean, I cleared every potion dungeon in the 3 months, of course. I made it all the way to Hard Ice Golem stage 3. I made it to stage 25 of Fire Knights and completed that and had one of the fastest times in the entire competition. And then all the way up to Hard Dragon 6, right? With no Legos other than my Rathalos and my Arbiter. And my Armands, of course. So it just was like, it was crazy trying to push these dungeons with such intense restrictions, but it was really, really rewarding when I managed to beat a level and to actually accomplish something that I hadn't done before. And that was extremely gratifying. I think the other big takeaway that I had from this competition is, you know, Arena on the low end, I can see why people hate it. I get it. I can see, because I think most of it really boils down to the fact that the matchmaking system is horrifically bad, and it matters way more on the low end than it does on the high end, right? Like when I'm fighting people like Doc Moreau and Live Arena, yes, their accounts are stronger than mine, absolutely, but it's not a massive, massive, massive gulf necessarily. Although Doc's account is pretty insane. But on the low end, when you are fighting Live Arena and you are matched as a level, what am I, a level 66, I think right now? Yes, I'm level 66. And you get matched with a level 90 or a level 100 account, it's basically a guaranteed loss. It's GG and it's over. And I can see why people hate Arena on the low end because of that level of frustration. On the good side of things, polymorph basically doesn't exist at this level. I was sheeped a handful of times, but I could actually play Raid Arena the way that it was meant to be played when the game came out. No crazy RNG crap, just trying to figure out my strategy, trying to pick the right champions. And that was a really fun experience. Like when it was on, when I was matched with someone who was around my level, it reminded me of why I fell in love with Arena in the first place, and how far or I should say not far, but how different Arena is on my Kraken account from where it once was down here in kind of the lower ends of Raid. So I feel like if Plarium just improved the matchmaking system for low level Arena, people would appreciate it a lot more. And that's not to say that the speed didn't matter. Like typically whoever went first, generally speaking, won. But you know what? It didn't even bother me that much because I felt like, hey, that person had a better team. They had a stronger team. They deserved to win. I lost because my team and my gear and my champions weren't good enough. And I could handle that a lot more than losing to something arbitrary like being turned into a sheep. So just some food for thought, having now done a lot of free to play over the last 3 months. I played this account so much. All in all, just an incredible experience. I still, again, I can't believe that I finished third, that I ended up doing that well. Let me see if I can actually pull up the scores. I think they've all changed. I was building, you can see my raid optimizer here. I was building a Queen Ava earlier, but I think the actual scores aren't what they were. So take this with a grain of salt because I was pushing a little bit on my free to play because I am going to continue this account going forward, and I'm going to do a separate video on what that looks like and the things I've already achieved right now. But yeah, so it looks like we've already, so Cropsio and I have still been grinding here, you can see, but I mean, I'm on almost every leaderboard, if not all of them, and pretty high up on the majority of them, though apparently I am now off of Tag Team Arena, which doesn't make sense because I don't know, who knows what happened there. But yeah, and again, this isn't accurate because this has changed since the competition ended. Some people are still playing, but it gives you a general idea of what I was able to accomplish if you want to take a look at it. So just a really cool thing to have done. I am so thankful that one of my viewers signed me up to do this because oh wow, I'm off of like there's definitely a problem here. I was number 1 on Minotaur, so this is not accurate at all. Some of this is definitely wrong now. I'm off of leaderboards that I was definitely number 1 on. I had the fastest Minotaur time for sure. And definitely, okay, I'm still on the force keeping the match. Anyway, sorry, none of this matters. The competition's over, Drock. Good God, it's done. But it's just like it's a crazy experience, and I really am thankful that I did it because it did let me see an entirely different side of Raid that I had personally never experienced, and it really taught me the value of just being smart with your resources, putting the effort and time in. And making sure to not make mistakes whenever possible. So yeah, what can I say, guys? Third place, who would have guessed? When I started, I said if I finish top 10, I feel like I've done a really good job. So to have finished third behind Colred and behind Cropsio, yeah, better than I could have ever imagined. So I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit and kind of what that experience was like for me, and just want to say thank you as well to my community for the incredible amount of support that you guys showed me throughout this entire competition, whether it was understanding that I wasn't gonna be able to do as many live streams or just, words of encouragement when I did do them, or words of encouragement in the Discord. I saw them, I appreciated the comments as well. And it was so cool to see that I could do content that wasn't just super end game focused, that people were still interested in watching. So I've actually made a playlist of all of my free to play videos. Like I said, I'm going to continue doing content on this account, and I will have more videos coming as I do more things on this account. But obviously this will be taking a little bit of a step back to my main account, which I need to get back and start grinding some live arena again, because your boy's been slipping on the leaderboard, and that ain't cool. Also, there's just no way I'm going to be staying up till 6 a.m. doing free to play content again. So I'm really happy to be able to get my sleep. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed kind of this quick, final thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below what some of your favorite moments from this year's free to play challenge were, whether they involved me or involved another creator. And then also, if you're continuing your account, if you started the challenge, and if you're going to continue doing your account in this now that we're over, now that we're finished. So all right, guys, I'll catch you later. Big Papa Drock out.